Hey guys, Jake Smith here, and here to talk to you about MIDI and the Mesa Boogie TC-50. Recently I just got into controlling things with a MIDI controller, and putting the MIDI situation in with the TC-50 is not really that easy. I've seen a lot of tutorials online, and basically if you don't work at NASA, you probably don't understand what these guys are talking about. So I'm here to maybe open up the door to something for people who are not really MIDI oriented. Like, I know that I'm not. But if you're one of those guys that's got the Bob Bradshaw Mega MIDI thing or whatever, or that Line 6 thing, hey, you already know what's going on, so you don't even need this. But I'm taking this down to a really basic level of MIDI controlling. So what I've got here is a MIDI mouse from Tech 21. It is very simple. Goes up and down. That's what you got. So for me, I had to look at the manual and see what I could find out. And there's a couple of things you need to know. Number one, you have to establish the channel with which your MIDI device is going to send. For me at first I didn't have the channel correctly selected. So for me, for this, I selected channel 1. And of course each MIDI controller has its own method on how to switch the channels. For this thing, you have to hold down on both buttons, and when the light flashes, and you adjust to the channel that you want. Now, on the back of the TC-50, there is a channel selector button back there, and with the way things Mesa has set up, when you go to 0, that means you're on channel 1 for your MIDI controller. So that was throwing me for a loop for a while. So in the manual they do identify which channels are what, but if you're thinking that channel 1 is the same as channel 1 on the TC-50, no, that's not right. Channel 0 talks to channel 1 on this particular controller. So the main thing is to make sure that your controller is broadcasting to the same channel as what the TC-50 is receiving. And then once that happens, you can change all kinds of stuff. For me here, I can go from channel to channel and adjust the whether I want reverb or the the effects loop in, and you set all of this stuff up on the back of the amp. Once you know what channel you want, and you have everything set up the way you want in the front and the back, then you hit the store button, which is a toggle switch on the back, and a red light will flash when the program is received. But on that toggle switch, you've got to toggle down to get the amp to save the program. Toggling up, I have no idea what that does. Maybe it clears something, but you got to remember that. So as you're setting up something, like I set up like channel 3 here to have the effects loop on, and that's good for me. And I've got a couple other things going on here where I've got, like, channel 4 here. Takes me to my first channel, and I've got on the effects loop, a reverb, and the solo button. So you can set this thing up any way you want, but you got to remember, the first thing to remember is that the channels are not the same between your controller and the TC-50 or 100 if you have that. Channel 0 on the TC-50 is channel 1 on this device, and that's how they've got it set up. So you got to keep that in mind when you're setting this thing up. So everybody, enjoy your TC-50, and like I said, I'm keeping it really simple. This is a very simple device, but it works really quite well for channel switching and turning off effects or turning on reverb or the solo. And everybody rock on and be safe out there. Jake Smith signing out here in the Bat Cave.